everybody. So today I'm going to tell a story about recognizing your worth and kind of learning through those experiences. So picture this. I'm 17, 18, it's senior year of high school. I got a new boyfriend. We'll call him Bob for today. So we'll call him Bob for today. And Bob and I knew each other from elementary, middle, and high school. And one day, Bob was attractive. So I'm like, hey, Bob, how you doing? So Bob and I are talking. I'm getting to know him. He's kind, athletic, but most importantly, he wants a relationship. And he made those intentions very clear. So we're talking, we're getting to know each other, and it's going really great. I was talking to one other person at this time before Bob and I kind of made it official. His name was Rick for today. And Rick and I had an amazing connection even then, but he didn't want a relationship at that time, and I wasn't going to force him into it. That didn't seem right. So I'm just like, okay, I know someone who does want a relationship, so I'm going to just go that way. And I did. So it's 2013. The relationship is going pretty good for high school. He picks me up, takes me to school. We go to nice restaurants like Olive Garden. And he really makes an effort to plan stuff for us to do. So one time he planned a double date, a movie date, for my friend Chase, his friend, and us. So the day of the date comes, and the movie is Man of Steel, one of those Superman remakes or whatever. And everyone's being all cute and flirty and excited. We think we're grown because we're on a double date, but we're not. So the movie starts, and we're about 1 hour into it. And I get a text message. It's dark in the theaters, so when your phone goes off, you can really see it. I'm trying not to pay attention to it, and I just assume it's a text from my mom because we talk and text all the time. But it's not. And at that point, I'm thinking, okay, well, everybody saw my screen, and Bob asked me what time it is, and I'm like, okay, he saw my screen too. So he asked me what time it is, and I pretended I didn't hear him, and I'm like, what? And he's like, what time is it? And I'm like, so I tell him the time, and he's like, no, let me see. And he's asking to see my phone, like the screen on my phone. And I'm like, okay, I don't really have anything to hide. It's not that big of a deal to me. But so I show him my screen, and he just nods his head. That movie was 2 hours and 23 minutes long. I sat there watching it, not really watching it, wondering, being extra anxious about what's about to happen next. Is he going to say anything? What's he going to do? And I'm sure you're wondering why I'm so anxious about what he's going to do. Well, it turns out the person who texted me was Rick. And the message said, hey. That's it, hey. And Rick and I hadn't talked in a couple months. He knew of my relationship status, but I never really told him that, we probably shouldn't be talking because Bob isn't too fond of you. So finally the movie is over. Chase and her guy, they're being all flirty and cute again, but Bob is not being all flirty and cute with me anymore. Bob is walking really fast to get out of there. And I'm trying to keep up, but I got little legs. And we get to the parking lot, and we're saying our goodbyes and all the things. Chase and her guy walk to their car. And I'm about to turn around to get into Bob's car. Bob is already in the car. So I'm pulling on the door handle like, hey, unlock the door. It's an old car, so I'm just thinking he forgot to press the button. But no, he didn't forget to press the button. He's motioning for me to go. He's motioning for me to, say, go ride with Chase, go ride with Chase. And I'm like, what? Is he really that upset about this message that said, hey? Apparently he was. So I back up from the car door slowly, calmly. I'm not crying or anything yet. If you know me, you know I'm an emotional person and I cry over everything. But so I back up from the door and Bob drives off. He's gone. He's like, can't see him anymore. So I walk across the parking lot to Chase and her guy, and I tell them what's happening, and tears are falling now. So I'm like, And I even showed them the message, and I'm like, all he said was, hey, I don't know no. And Chase tells her guy to call Bob because they're supposed to be good friends. And he calls him. Surprisingly, he answers. And he's like, hey, man, what are you doing? You don't do that. Come back. Why would you leave? What's wrong with you? And I'm thinking, really, what's wrong with you? So eventually, Bob does come back. I don't know how long we waited, but we were waiting. And Chase is consoling me. We see him coming back. She's yelling not so nice words across the parking lot to him. And he pulls up, and Chase is like, hey, if you don't want to ride with him, you don't have to. And I'm like, I know, but I don't like to inconvenience people. So I got in the car. Conflicted and confused, I got in the car, and we sat in silence for that whole drive. It was about 20 minutes, Dayton Mall to my house. And when we get to my house, I don't speak, I don't look, I just get out the car, and I get in mine, and I drive to my best friend Mackenzie's house. I get there, she's looking at me like super concerned, like all of you are right now. And she's validating like all my emotions in the moment, letting me know that it's not your fault, you're okay, and if you really want to break up with them, you can. Except I don't, and I stay in that relationship, even though I knew how I felt in that moment. I knew I felt embarrassed, hurt, disrespected, all of the above. And I think in hindsight, I prioritized that relationship, the idea of that relationship, way more than I should have. And in the process, I compromised my own self-worth. We broke up after 2 years and some back and forth business. And that really jump-started a journey for me to self-worth and self-discovery. And by that time, I had realized, you deserve to be in a relationship where you are valued and respected. And that situation just really showed me that it's okay to desire a relationship, but desiring a relationship with a person who values you, who respects you, who can show up for you and be there for you and make sure they're choosing love every day just like you choose love every day for them, with them. And it's kind of funny because I'm in a relationship now where all of that is happening. We genuinely have a great time together. He shows up for me. He is everything that I could ask for and really genuinely have a great time. And funny enough, it's actually the guy who texted me that day. And he is sitting right there.